I'd like to welcome everybody to the Coaches in the Mouth pod. This is Coach Jeff Williams, along with Coach Bray Cook. The Mouth Brent Bender is on assignment, Baum Stadium, checking out the number one team in the nation, Arkansas Razorback baseball team. Well, Bray, first of all, we got a little bit new studio.
We're outside.
We're outside,
Coach.
Got a little sun coming up.
Yeah, we're creeping out towards Beaver Lake, so it's a little nicer out. I figured we'd do a couple episodes out on the old back deck.
I like it. I like where we're going with this and everything. Well, we opened up. You had a great reel yesterday coming out with our season 2 coming out. Got some great guests. Really expanded our guests to what we've had in the past as far as nationally. You know, Todd Munkin, the offense coordinator from Baltimore Ravens, and Rhett Lashley, head coach at SMU. Alec Ingo, the fullback for the Miami Dolphins, and we'll have Michael Cage, the man played 18 years in the NBA, West Memphis Blue Devil, San Diego State Hall of Famer coming on also. But before we get into that, boy,
big news,
a little
curveball with Coach Muss.
Yes, curveball with Coach Muss. I mean, last 48 hours been a little crazy. Looks like Coach Muss, his officials, headed to USC out in Southern California. Man, the internet's blowing up, and
Twitter's been nuts. In full force.
Yes, well, talk to our audience a little bit about our guests and where they're from and who we're having on today.
Yeah, well, when this all kind of happened, I got to thinking about a guy that I know that I went to high school with, actually won a state championship with, who was Muss's director of basketball ops. So, those are the guys that really run the program. The head coach says, here's my vision, and then this guy goes and gets it done. So Jon was that for him, but before that, he actually came from the same position at USC. So he's a guy who's kind of seen both sides of exactly what's happening here with Muss. So excited to get his insight on the situation.
Well, it will be, because like I said, we're going to get inside of, being able to compare the jobs and the conferences and that part of it. And then maybe he might, we'll talk about maybe who's coming in, and it's going to be a crazy, next 48 hours, 72 hours, what's going to go on. And because they're going to have to move fast, recruiting and things like that. It's exciting time. Hate to see Muss go, but it's exciting to see who's new coming in.
And that's the thing is, it hurts to lose a coach like Coach Muss, who's had so much success here. But these next few days are going to be pretty action-packed, as far as I think they've already got the plane trackers out, and there's pictures of Yurchak floating around at XNA. So it'll be an intense weekend into week for the old Razorbacks.
Well, it will be intense. And, Arkansas is an attractive job, especially in basketball. I mean, you look at the success that, you go back to Eddie Sutton and Nolan Richardson, and obviously, Coach Muss and, Mike Anderson and those guys. And, want to continue the success. And what's probably different than what it was back in the day is you lose a guy, but the portal, man, you can get really
quick.
It can happen quick. You can get real good real quick, and you can get real bad real quick. And so it'll be interesting to listen to our guest and bring him on. So let's go ahead and bring on our guest.
Well, let's bring on Director of Football Operations at Georgia Tech, Jon Blake.
Well, Coach, hey, welcome to the show. Appreciate you coming on, man. A lot of crazy news. You're sitting there in Atlanta, but you're from Arkansas, and you keep up with things. Crazy news this week with Coach Eric Musselman leaving and going to USC. And the crazy part, you were his ops guy here at Arkansas, and you've also worked at USC. So tell me this. What's the better place? I mean, what's the better place? I mean,
I'm not even. I mean, my Arkansas roots run deep. I mean, I hold it down for the 479. I mean, that's and the 501. I mean, that's home. Arkansas is always going to be number one to me. But yeah, you can't go wrong at USC either. Southern Cal. I mean, that weather. I mean, and just a prestigious program like that. I mean, yeah, it's great opportunity for Coach Musselman, no question.
Well, with him being from the West Coast, obviously, a lot of family out there, and this nothing against old people. I'm old too, but he's no spring chicken, and it's getting that time, he's probably got 10 years in his career maybe, and getting back out to family. And I understand that. Well, talk to us a little bit about your role when you were working for Coach Muss, being an ops guy, and people don't understand everything that you do. Talk to us about the role, the time that you were with Coach Muss and that staff, and your role with the University of Arkansas.
Yeah. So it was kind of funny how it even came about, because my whole experience, I'm a football guy. Like I'm not a basketball guy at all. I mean, I watch it, I keep up with it, but I think the last time I played organized basketball was maybe in the 5th grade, and I rarely don't even play, too much pickup ball, so, but anyway, prior to going to, joining Coach Musselman at Arkansas, I worked at Southern Cal. I was the associate director of football operations, and, we had a person on staff that had a connection with, Coach Musselman's son, Michael, who was at the time, the director of recruiting for Arkansas basketball. And so, I saw one day I'm just sitting at my computer and I see that job posting come up, for, assistant director of basketball administration, which that was my role with Coach Muss. And I thought, shoot, for operations, like, in football, you got 120 guys on the team, and you're kind of a babysitter to all of them. So in my head, it was, only going from 120 to 15 players to have to worry about, sign me up, plus, back home at my alma mater, back home, Northwest Arkansas, they're coming off an Elite Eight. So to me, it was just kind of like, man, let me try and take a stab at this opportunity and try and see what happens, because, in ops, like, I don't really need to know, the fact that me not really being a basketball guy, didn't really have wasn't much of a factor, because, I don't deal, my kind of little joke is I don't deal with the X's and O's. I deal with the Jimmies and Joes. I deal with the people, and, ops kind of, can kind of transfer, anywhere. So, had that opportunity to get on Coach Muss's staff, and it was me, and along with another guy, we kind of did the operations, and that's everything from onboarding the new players. When we have all these new guys join the team, they got someone that kind of gets them squared away with housing, helps them get their direct deposits set up so they can get their scholarship checks, go right into their account. Doing even from big to small, to as small as ordering office supplies, making sure, we got all the supplies, doing like reimbursements when these coaches go out on the road recruiting. A lot of them, they'll buy things, and then, we can reimburse them. So processing those types of things, and, and then keeping track of our schedule. So doing our daily schedules. We use this thing called Teamworks that, we send out, we get everybody, an account, and that way it's like a little app you can pull up and they can check their schedule and stuff like that. So I would input that, so that way everyone could see the daily schedule, helping with hotels, getting hotels booked, and, getting our trips kind of in order. So, that way when your wheel's up, you got buses when you land, you got hotel rooms when you get there, and, meals, all that kind of stuff. So it's very broad, but yeah, you kind of touch it all.
Well, when back on the subject of Muss, when you heard that he was going out to USC, or the rumors going, did that surprise you any? I mean, I know you've worked with him, but with the connection and, being at Arkansas 5 years, did it surprise you any?
No, I wasn't terribly surprised. I mean, I kind of always had a sense that, him being a West Coast guy, that he'd eventually find his way back out there. Whether it be, like San Diego State, or if, any one of those, big California schools. So, definitely was not really, surprised. Plus, coming off, the season did not go as they hoped. I'm sure he probably didn't want to, maybe leave on that kind of note, but at the end of the day, that opportunity comes up. Opportunities like that don't come open very often. So, I totally understand him taking a run at it.
Well, I guess my question is, why USC? You talked about all these different things, but your experience there, what would draw a coach there? Is it the area? Is it the people? Is it the opportunity for the basketball program? What, in your opinion, what would pull you to USC?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think there's I mean, kind of all of the above, like obviously the locale, Los Angeles, a big market. And, knowing Muss, I think one thing for him, you see him on social media, he's a big personality. He's got a huge following, Twitter, he's huge on Twitter. So very brand aware. And I think a place like LA, like as big as a market that is, that's going to kind of put him on an even bigger platform than he was at Arkansas, obviously, and especially if he has success, like he did here at Arkansas. And then not to mention, with USC, they're going into the Big Ten. So that's a huge opportunity. I mean, they're so much that's going to mean so much more money for that program. I know right now they're going through a full scale facility renovation across the whole athletics. So they're about to have their facilities and resources are about to be even more than what they are now. And I mean, sure, you got, I'm going to be coaching LeBron James's son too, Bronny Jr. So, I mean, yeah, there are just there's so many things that, so many reasons as to why, he would have taken it. I mean, yeah, he just kind of, checked all those boxes.
Let me follow up something. And you hit that, they're going to the Big Ten, it's LA, it's big. And Coach does, he's branding himself. He's branding his programs, big on social media. But you sit out there in Los Angeles, and I hear this all the time. You listen to the Herd, they're in Los Angeles talking about, you've got the Lakers out there, you got the Clippers, you've got the Dodgers, you've got UCLA, you've got USC football, you've got, all these things in star power where you can get lost also. Talk to us a little bit about that, because, in Arkansas, you're a one-man show and all the eyes are focused on you, or LA. Hey, baby, they get bored with you, they're going down to watch the next show. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, no question. I mean, yeah, there's so many, you're competing for so many eyeballs out there. He's definitely gonna have to come in and, hit the ground running. And, just the fact that, like you said, there's so many other things that people can go and do and other teams that they can watch. So yeah, you're definitely going to have to be successful. Cause yeah, you're right. I mean, if you're not winning games, nobody's going to be showing up, because if you're not winning them, well, they might go across the road to, UCLA, watch their games, or they might go down to, the Ravine and watch the Dodgers, or the Lakers. So yeah, obviously with that comes a lot of pressure. But I don't think that's anything that he's not used to. I don't think he would have taken that opportunity if he didn't know what he was getting himself into,
Makes sense. Go ahead, Bray.
Now, on the other hand, like Coach said, Arkansas here, all eyes are on you. What are some of the things that you experienced working at the U of A that make Arkansas, a high quality job, or for the next guy that comes in, what might draw him here to Fayetteville?
Man, I'm a homer through and through. I mean, I love the state. I got so much pride for the University of Arkansas, for the state of Arkansas. I mean, there's, like you said, that's at the state of Arkansas. I mean, that's it. The Arkansas Razorbacks. I mean, that carries so much weight in that state. And then just for the university in itself, just it being in the SEC, the facilities, the resources that are there. And in my personal experience, working for both basketball and football, the athletic department as a whole, I mean, that whole athletic department is just, they're all in alignment. I mean, what I really loved when I was there is, I mean, everybody was all in on the Hogs. It doesn't matter if it was, like a custodian to, some high ranking athletic department member. I mean, everybody would go out of their way to help each other. So everybody everybody wanted the teams to succeed in the program and the university to succeed. Like everybody was in alignment. And you get so much support. And, I mean, that's so huge these days. I mean, it's just getting the support and, getting just having that alignment in a university and in a program and an athletic department. I mean, that's just invaluable.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be such a huge piece of whoever comes in next. There's been like Arkansas Twitter is already up in flames, talking about is it Beard? That's been the popular name that's been tossed around, or who they're going to bring in. But I know for the next week it's going to be exciting to track.
Oh man, what are you talking about, man? There'll be more rumors flying around than when JFK got killed, man. It was unbelievable, man. It will be as it's already started, and who's coming in, and and the thing about that, and this as well because you deal with it all the time, is you might want to go get a guy, but their contract might be a messy thing. Guy might just sign an extension, or he hadn't signed an extension. The buyout might be so big you don't know, and those things, and that's the fact that people don't understand, that you just don't. Hey, we want that guy. Well, sometimes it doesn't work out that way in that part of it. And so like I said, it'll be very, very interesting to see how all this works. Plus, the realignment that this looks like is going in college football and college athletics with you're sitting in the ACC right now. And I'm not trying to change the subject because it's all ties in with the Big Ten, SEC, this big conference in both sports. What are y'all hearing in the ACC right now?
Oh man, well, one, I know we're just trying to keep they're trying to keep Clemson and Florida State. They're trying to, they got something going on right now, but everything that it's crazy right now. There's just the climate of college athletics. Not just college football, college athletics in general. Between the transfer portal and name, image, likeness, and now all this conference realignment. I definitely do think that sooner than later, people, you probably been hearing the term, super conferences thrown around. I mean, I very well looks like it's going in that, that direction now, and that will happen. Who knows? But I definitely do not see it slowing down anytime soon.
Oh, no.
Well, it's a wild time to be in college athletics.
Wild time to be in college athletics. There's no doubt about it. And talk to us about y'all's NIL stuff.
Well, thankfully I'm not involved in that. I don't think I want any part of that. We got a guy in our athletic department that kind of handles all that, really him and the head coach. So, I mean, even if I could, honestly, I couldn't even really say much about it. Cause we kind of, a lot of, but I do know that there's something going on in the NCAA right now where I think, cause as it stands right now, institutions and universities, like we can't act as like brokers for NIL. Like we can't act, we can't, go to places and say, hey, we got guys, that want NIL. What can you do for, you're not allowed to do that. And we don't, we can't do that. But I think that's kind of legislation going on right now, is that trying to get, keep it all in-house, right? So like University of Arkansas would have like an in-house NIL, kind of situation set up. But again, thankfully I'm not involved in NIL, and honestly, I really want no part of it. It's such a mess, and I got enough going on in ops and trying to get housing for all 20 something of our guys that we got coming in the summer, and dealing with all that. And plus we play Ireland this year, so I get the fun task of trying to get passports for every single member of our travel party.
Oh man.
Yeah,
that's intense.
Well, do this. Tell us a good, funny Muss story. I mean, and what did you take working from him? I mean, he's a charismatic guy. He's into it, very intense guy. Give us a story.
Oh, all right. So I do have a good one. One time was, obviously he's very big on social media and funny videos, right? So it was around Halloween in 2022, around Halloween time. I had to go out. I think it was like Halloween Express. I went to a couple of different places. I think like Halloween Express and then Walmart, we'd get it. He was like, get costumes, get like 20 something costumes. And, for the team and all that. So I got all these costumes. I bring them back, and anyway, I kind of just put them in a stat, I showed them everything I got. Right. And then, I went on about my day. Well, at some point later in the day, I'm sitting at my desk, and kind of right behind me kind of right by my desk, kind of behind me, I have it was like a big kind of wardrobe cabinet type thing. Well, I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, like, out pops Muss in I couldn't even tell you what kind of mask he had. He just pops out in this Halloween mask and just like, just scared the hell out of me.
Is there footage of this? They record it?
Well, honestly, yeah, I think it might be somewhere. Because I probably should have known something was coming when I'm sitting at my desk and I see someone kind of up around the way with their phone out, kind of looking like they're recording something. I should have known something was up.
The question was, what was Anthony Ruda wearing? What was his costume?
Oh man, he might have. Yeah, old Ruda, man. Coach Ruda.
I'll have to ask you that.
Yes, we'll find out. We'll get to the bottom of it.
And then we ended up all the players put on a costume and did like a little 5-on-5 scrimmage wearing their costumes. That's pretty good time.
Well, Coach, man, we appreciate you coming on, man. Short notice and all this craziness going on, and taking time out of your day and jumping on with us, and we really appreciate it.
No, absolutely. Appreciate you guys having me on. It was a pleasure.
Well, all righty.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, man. Well, it's just straight madness, Coach. I mean,
it is.
That's some good insight right there from Jon, just on the fact that, he's an ops guy. He's been here at Arkansas, obviously born and raised, and worked here, then been at USC, and seeing Coach Muss, the differences, being a guy from California trying to get out there. I mean, this train we got rolling around here.
The train's been unbelievable.
The train has been rolling the whole podcast, but and I'm sure nobody's listening out there, but
no.
I mean, but we're having fun with it.
That was great.
And we might even make the train even start being part of the show.
That's going to have to be.
I mean, it's going to have to be. We might have a motto.
I don't think we have a choice.
No, I don't think we have a choice anymore. So, ladies and gentlemen, next time we have this podcast and you hear a train coming down the track, that will be the Coaches in the Mouth pod.
Yes, the sponsor.
Yes, trying out our new studio. Well, Coach, let's do this. Coach Blake, tell everybody how they can find us.
Yeah, we're on Twitter. We're on YouTube, Coaches Pod. You can search that. You can search Coaches in the Mouth. You can also look up our store, which is connected to our YouTube page. It's going to be the easiest way to find some merchandise, some hoodies, some shorts, and things like that. And otherwise, look for us on any social media that you follow.
Well, be great. Well, for the train and Coach Williams and Coach Bray Cook and the Mouth Brent Bender, we'll see you next time.